they've gone full.
I just got Kirk! Yeah, I just got escorted from Kirk, baby!
We're in Tampa, Florida for Turning Point USA's annual Student Action Summit. TPUSA is a voter-driving juggernaut for the Republican Party, led by 31-year-old Charlie Kirk.
They're happy, that's why you know they haven't been on social media.
But this year's event will be menaced by something called the Un-F America Tour, started by a group of progressive influencers.
Oh, it's still kicking.
And organizers, including the massively popular streamer Destiny.
This is the all roads lead to Rome thing, right? So he can do the exact same behavior you said that Biden couldn't get away with doing.
They want to bring progressive debate to Kirk's doorstep. But first, they have to get in. So Turning Point has cancelled all of Un-F America's credentials, and now they're trying to sneak in Destiny so he can debate inside here. Alright, he's in. So Destiny has made it inside the building, and we'll see how long he lasts.
There's a major streamer named Destiny, who's a Democratic liberal streamer. He appears to be debating Myron Gaines, who's more of a right-wing red pill guy. They're both sort of creatures of like internet trolldom, but it should be a lot of fun. You know, it's like blood sports. It's like watching a cockfight, effectively.
We love to see it, though.
We love
to see it. It's great.
We are at Student Action Summit. We got Destiny and Myron here today. Have a little friendly conversation.
Man. Good to see you, bro.
Okay.
Young people may be tuning out the news, but this new form of live, provocative political debate is blowing up online. Its cultural significance is something well known to Kirk because he's part of it.
Oh, it's democratic socialism. It's completely different.
I love this question.
And
I could talk about socialism for hours.
Hello, everyone. I am Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, and I am surrounded by 20 woke college kids.
Under a tent with the words "Prove me wrong," Kirk brought online debater culture directly to hundreds of college campuses during the last election cycle.
We have a problem in Black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. When exactly do heart waves begin in utero?
You know that, but you don't.
Don't you always love it when white people try to tell us what the fuck's wrong with the black community? The lack of dads is crazy, especially when statistics show that black fathers are more involved in their children's lives. Consistently a lot more than white people's fathers. I mean, like, the statistics are, I think you're buying into like the tropes and the memes and the fucking funny jokes and the comedian shits and thinking that it's actually true when it's not. But go off, King.
Don't know the four.
Hold on, no, so tell me when heartbeat.
I don't know.
And while he uses it to make viral content, its primary goal is to register Gen Z to vote MAGA.
I love the fact that we are now becoming we're becoming the cool kids now.
But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
No, there's nothing wrong with talking.
Well, that's what we're doing here today. It's an open mic.
I think that you push a dangerous agenda.
It's a strategy that those behind Un-F America say the DNC has been absent to counter.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn, but he's very, very strategically minded.
At an event organized by the Un-F America crew down the street from the convention center, both conservatives and liberals packed into a pub to eat chicken wings, drink beer, and watch conservative voices try to take on Destiny.
Have you ever fired an AR-15?
Yep.
So you fired a 5.56. The mathematical odds of him surviving that are infinitesimally small.
They're infinitesimally high if it misses him or grazes his ear. I mean,
Charlie Kirk's been doing this a long time, more than 10 years. Why has it taken the left so long to catch up and still hasn't caught up?
Republicans vertically are very well integrated when it comes to making sure that they're winning elections.
Yeah.
Right? There's the people who in 2020 they thought the election was stolen in every state basically, but they still shut up to vote next time. So something is happening there where they're really big on going out and winning elections. And I think that shows at every single level, to where when people are organizing or when people are creating alternative media networks, whether you're talking Tim Pool, influencing other ones like Joe Rogan, or trying to do things with college kids like Charlie Kirk, they're making these events and they're gathering all these different people. For Charlie Kirk, it's school kids, but the single focus is winning elections. It's incredibly important. And somehow I feel like on the left, I don't know how this happened online. Maybe it's because we tend to be younger or whatever, but somehow the party's messaging apparatus, it feels like it's gotten hijacked from people by people who won't vote for your candidates, which I think is incredibly destructive.
Did the Democrats have anything like this?
Nothing. And I will say, Charlie Kirk is honestly one of the best organizers of our generation. And I think that, as much as I disagree.
If only she would have stayed in the comment sections The fucking Unfuck America tour roster might be bigger.
Agree with Charlie Kirk. I
So
believe
simple.
that what he's doing has worked, and that's why I'm here to replicate what he's doing. I'm not here to, disrupt Charlie Kirk's events. I'm here to say that there are alternative ideas and that we need to build the same thing that he has, because he is good at it.
Z. Cohen Sanchez has worked more than a decade on Democratic campaigns.
There's no reason why we can't do this. This is not very expensive to do. We have so many PACs on the Democratic side raising millions of dollars, right? We are not a big PAC. We haven't even raised $1 million yet. And we're able to get all of these creators essentially anywhere that Charlie is. And so that's what we really want the Democratic Party to do, is we want to have them to start investing in these movements.
Is the DNC supporting this?
No, not currently.
Why not?
If Ken Martin's watching this, text me back. But really, I think it's disappointing that we haven't been able to see the DNC really get off the ground since the election, because I think a lot of things have happened internally that have been distractions to the actual ground game that we need right now.
No, our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
For Destiny, it's a ground game that must reflect the online culture he and millions of young Americans are part of, one that is often characterized by un-PC language, insults, and crude humor, like this tweet Destiny sent poking conservatives by saying the kids who died in the Texas floods were proof that God doesn't exist. The tweets you sent about the kids in Texas would probably disqualify you, or would probably have somebody in the upper levels of the Democratic Party say, okay, we'll never work with this guy again.
Yeah.
Do you regret sending those tweets?
I think they have to get over it. I don't regret them. I love poking the bear on the right. I feel like Republicans are so good at owning the space. Republicans do this thing where they say, comedy's legal again and we can joke about anything. But when they say anything, they really just mean like immigrants and black people, right? Because if you make fun of anything on their side, they lose their minds.
I guess is your point that, always trying to take the high ground is clearly not working for Democrats?
One of the things that conservatives stumbled into accidentally, because I think Donald Trump's an idiot, even politically, but they stumbled into this thing where people started to get confused because of what the right and left looked like. And I think they think that you need an extremist platform in order to win elections. But what you really need, I think, is just extremist messaging. I think that's what you need.
Back inside, the packed event giving the Un-F America organizers hope there will be appetite for similar debates on college campuses this fall.
I do 100 hours of this a semester. 100 hours. In addition to 2 hours of podcasting radio. I mean, the physical crowds are now 3,000-4,000 people almost every time we do this.
And so the plan for this semester is Charlie Kirk shows up at campuses all across the country, and you guys are going to be there too.
That's the goal. If we can raise enough money to get there, we absolutely will. People wonder why the youth vote shifted 9 points to the right.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why. He's put the footwork in and we haven't.
That's a good fucking point. That's a good point there. Speaking of the
Hey, I'm not sure how many. Can you tell me how many different representatives we're talking about are in the state of Texas? I believe you're 6 short right now of a quorum.
I won't read into it at all, but it's a funny analogy.
You should
appear. Would that number bring you to a quorum?
Got to catch them all, right? So that's the fact that we don't know yet. We don't know which Democrats remain in the state who are not yet identified.
Are you hiding
we don't know
state?
Exactly how many are out of state. But know this also well, and that is the Texas Department of Public Safety is also working.
Explain this to a non-American viewer.
Here is the United Nations Secretary General. Gaza is a horror show with a level of death and destruction without parallel in recent times. Pierce, I ask you, do we ignore the evidence of our eyes? Do we ignore the evidence of our ears? Of course not. You and I have talked about this for nearly 2 years now. We are seeing a genocide. It's not my word. Omar Bertov, one of the most preeminent genocide scholars in the world, Israeli, Jewish, American, is saying it's a genocide. Amnesty International. And if you don't like the word genocide, war crimes. This can end, and I agree with your other guests, if President Trump picks up the phone and calls Netanyahu, just like it happened with Reagan, just like it happened back in the day with Dwight Eisenhower, America shuts off the tap. Israel cannot continue this war without U.S. funding, weapon, and aids. And then maybe, just maybe, there might be a path towards peace. But this right now is a genocide. And anyone, after 2 years, who comes on your show and defends it is a genocidal sociopath, and they should be called out publicly.
Okay, well, back to my panel in a moment, but I want to bring in the president of the Palestinian National Initiative, Mustafa Barghouti. Mustafa, welcome back to Uncensored. I appreciate you joining us again. the position now seems to be that Israel has determined, through its Prime Minister Netanyahu, that the only way to successfully defeat Hamas is now to occupy the whole of Gaza. What is your response to that?
His aim is not to defeat Hamas. His real aim is to destroy Palestinian presence on the land of historic Palestine. And by the way, his aim did not change since the very first day of this war. His goals were clear. They're not committing only 3 war crimes in parallel: the war crime of genocide, collective punishment, including starving people, including starving children, but also their goal is ethnic cleansing of the whole Palestinian population. And now, when they talk about full occupation of Gaza and then forcing people out of Gaza, he wants to create the largest concentration camp in human history, something that reminds us of the terrible concentration camps during the Nazi time in Germany, and then force people out of Gaza. The people who will be forced out of Gaza will never be allowed to come back. This is not about allowing people to immigrate if people don't want to immigrate. People want to stay in Gaza. But it's not about sending them out and then bringing them back. And the proof to that is that 7 million Palestinians were displaced by Israeli terrorism in 1948, and they are still refugees. None of them was allowed to come back to Palestine. And that's exactly the Israeli goal. It is ethnic cleansing through committing terrible war crimes that nobody should accept. And by the way, it's not the Palestinians. It's not even Hamas that is preventing foreign journalists from coming to Gaza and reporting what's happening. It is Israel. Israel is not only preventing foreign journalists from coming in, they are now preventing medical teams and preventing international organizations like UNRWA from functioning in Gaza. And the fact is that everything we hear from Gaza is from Palestinian journalists. And the result of that is that Israel already killed 234 Palestinian journalists through bombardment, through intentional killing and injuring more than 60,000 children, including 18,000 children, is not something that any country could be proud of. And I will add another comment from another Israeli ex-prime minister, Naftali Bennett, who is as extreme as Netanyahu. Naftali Bennett said, I think yesterday, that Israel is becoming a pariah state, hated by everybody. He said, we lost the Democratic Party in the United States. We are now losing the Republican Party because of Netanyahu's crimes and because of what's going on. Something is happening that nobody can accept or should accept as a human being. A whole slaughter of a whole population. Why 94% of the hospitals will be bombarded by Israel? By which law? Israel is allowed to destroy 93% already of all homes in Gaza, smashing everything to earth. If it wasn't about an intention of not only occupying Gaza and annexing it to Israel, but also total ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. West Bank is governed not by Hamas, it's governed by the Palestinian Authority. And still, the Israeli illegal terrorist settlers are attacking us everywhere, terrorizing people, burning houses, burning cars. And these settlers are armed and supported and protected by the same Israeli state. What's happening is unacceptable, should have never happened, and Israel must understand. Nobody will ever have peace in this region unless they stop this policy of occupation, apartheid, and discrimination and oppression of other people.
Okay.
You can. Thank
All
you.
right. But let me jump in, because I've given you a long chance to respond there. So, as you know, what the Israeli government would say in response, and I'm sure Brooke would say this, is that all Hamas has to do, and all they've ever had to do, is release the remaining hostages. That has been the pretext that Israel, through its government...
They don't care about the hostages anymore. Israel doesn't give a shit about the hostages. If they did, they would have stopped this shit and said a long time ago and go to the table. Excuse me. The only way to get these, to get any hostages back dead or alive is through diplomacy. That's the only way they've been able to do that, with ceasefires and shit like that. Constantly bombing them is not going to work. Threatening them is not going to work. I don't know why you would bomb an area which might contain the hostages anyways. Because if Hamas didn't unalive them, unalive. If Hamas didn't kill them, then you probably did it with your bombs. That's telling me that you don't give a shit about the hostages, and this is about ethnic cleansing. Because if you did, like I said, there would be more diplomacy in this to get the hostages back. Because it's obvious that, you know, you can talk to them. Apparently, you've made these deals before, but for some reason you're deciding, hey, let's just keep bombing dirt at this point, because that's what they're doing. They're just bombing dirt at this point. So the rest of the world is forced to look in from the outside, to look in and say Israel's committing genocide right now. Anybody who says so is now called an anti-Semite, but no one cares. I don't care if me saying that the Israeli government is committing genocide is considered an anti-Semite, then I would say that the people calling me that don't know what an anti-Semite is. Excuse me. But yeah.
Government has said is the determinating factor in how long this war continues. Now, many people have begun to seriously doubt that, right, including myself. Right? I think there's a much bigger ambition now from this Israeli government, which is to occupy Gaza, which is to expel the Palestinians. But I would say again to you, as I have before, why not call their bluff? Why is there not more pressure put from Arabs, from Muslims in the region, to force Hamas to release these hostages and to call the Israeli government's bluff by doing so? Because if